chapters of American history, the Spanish-American War often appears as a brief yet significant period, a conflict that marks the United States' emerging global power. However, within this broader narrative, there exists a story seldom told, the story of the Black Rough Riders. Courageous, forgotten heroes who fought with valor and distinction. As I reflect on their legacy, I cannot help but to consider the layers of complexity of being a black soldier in a nation that, even as they sent their men to fight abroad for lofty ideals of liberty and democracy, continue to deny many of these same rights at home. Their courage in the face of racism, their sacrifice in the name of freedom, and their crucial yet overlooked role in shaping America's history deserves not only our attention but our profound respect. The Spanish-American War, fought in 1898, was spurred by a mix of economic interests, expansionist ambition, and humanitarian concerns over Spain's control of Cuba. It was a war ostensibly fought to liberate the Cuban people from the Spanish tyranny, though it would ultimately serve to expand America's territorial reach. As war loomed, President William McKinley called upon volunteers to supplement the regular army. Amongst the group that responded to the call were the Rough Riders, a diverse unit led by Theodore Roosevelt, composed of cowboys, miners, Ivy League athletes, and frontiersmen. Yet lesser known are the black soldiers who also answered the call to arms, enlisting not just in voluntary units, but also in regular army regiments that were critical to the war effort. The Buffalo Soldiers, African-American regiments of the U.S. Army, played a pivotal role in the Spanish-American War. These soldiers, veterans of the Indian War, and men who had long fought for a country that yet fully recognized their humanity, were part of the 9th and 10th Cavalry and the 24th and 25th Infantry Regiment. While not officially a part of Roosevelt's Rough Riders, their contributions were indispensable. In fact, in the heat of battle, it was often those black soldiers who fought alongside Roosevelt's unit, showing exceptional bravery in the face of overwhelming odds. The most famous battle of Spanish-American War, the Battle of San Juan Hill, is often mythologized as a moment in singular heroism led by Theodore Roosevelt and his Rough Riders. However, this version of events, often taught in schools and perpetuated in popular culture, omits a critical truth. It was the Black Buffalo Soldiers, the Buffalo Soldiers who were amongst the first charging up the hill facing heavy Spanish gunfire. Their discipline and strategic movements provides a central cover for the Rough Riders, who were struggling to advance in the rugged terrain. Without the support of the Black Regiment, it is doubtful that Roosevelt's unit would have succeeded in their famed charge. One of the most powerful examples of this collaboration came during the Battle of Kettle Hill, which was part of the larger San Juan Heights engagement. As the Rough Riders attempted to take the hill, they found themselves pinned down in Spanish fire. The Buffalo Soldiers of the 10th Cavalry, Roosevelt himself later acknowledged the bravery of the black troops, later writing into his memoir, "I could not have taken San Juan Hill without the assistance of the 10th Cavalry." And yet, despite their undeniable contributions, the Black Rough Riders and the Buffalo Soldiers returned home to a country that remained largely indifferent of their sacrifice. The racism they had endured before the war did not dissipate in the aftermath of their service. In fact, the period following the Spanish-American War saw a rise in racial violence and lynchings in the United States. Black veterans, many whom had fought to defend the very principles of liberty and democracy, were often targets of brutal repression. They returned to their communities wearing their uniforms instead of being seen as a symbol of honor, made them targets for white supremacy violence. In cities across the South, black soldiers were lynched, harassed, denied basic. The cruel irony that the men who had fought for American expansions abroad were denied freedoms at home, reflecting the profound contradictions of the time. Their heroism in the war did little to challenge the entrenched racial hierarchy that defines American society. Yet, in the face of such adversity, these soldiers carried with them a dignity and resilience that will later inspire future generations of Black Americans in the struggle for civil rights. The significance of the Black Rough Riders extends beyond the military accomplishments. Their participation in the Spanish-American War was a reflection of a broader struggle for recognition and equality. For many Black men who enlisted, their hope was that their service would earn them respect and rights that denied them as civilians. The belief in the possibility of racial progress through military service was not new. It had roots in the Civil War, where Black soldiers fought for the Union, and it continued through both world wars and into the Civil Rights Movement. However, time and again, Black soldiers found that their sacrifice in uniform did not translate into equal treatment in civilian life. The Black Rough Riders and the Buffalo Soldiers who fought in Cuba were part of a long tradition of African American military service, one that stretches back to Crispus Attucks, the first martyr of the American Revolution, and continued through Harlem's Hellfighters of World War I and the Tuskegee Airmen of World War II and beyond. Each generation of Black soldiers faced the same painful paradox. They were called upon to defend a nation that refused to defend their rights. And yet, they fought with honor, knowing that their participation to fight for freedom abroad could one day help fuel the fight for freedom at home. In considering the legacy of the Black Rough Riders, it is crucial to acknowledge the deep sense of patriotism that motivates many of these soldiers. Their service was not just about proving their worth to a skeptic nation, it was about asserting their place in American history. They were fighting for a vision of America that, though not yet realized, was worth striving for. A country where all men, regardless of color, could enjoy the full rights and privileges of citizenship. Today, as we reflect on the contributions of these forgotten heroes, we must also confront the ways in which their story has been erased or minimized in the broader narrative of American history. The valor of the Black Rough Riders challenged the traditions, often whitewashed depictions of the Spanish-American War. Their story is a reminder that African Americans have always been an integral part of the nation's military and its fight for freedom, even when the freedom was denied to them. The struggle for recognizing continues not only for all Black Rough Riders, but for all the forgotten soldiers who have been pushed to the margins of history. In remembering their service, we honor their bravery and affirm the importance of telling a more complete and inclusive version of America's past. Their fight was not just against foreign enemies. It was a fight for dignity, equality, and respect in the face of domestic oppression. In conclusion, the Black Rough Riders of the Spanish-American War represent the powerful yet often overlooked chapter of American history. Their bravery and sacrifice, though largely forgotten, were instrumental in securing the United States' victory and solidifying its role as a global power. More than that, their story is a testament to the resilience of African Americans in the face of systematic racism, and it's a reminder of how long and ongoing the struggle for equality and recognition. By reclaiming their place in history, we're not only honoring their contribution, but also take a step towards a more just, truthful, and understanding of their cherished past. The story of the Black Rough Riders reminds us that Black men and women have been serving with honors and courage in the military for centuries. The story of the Black Rough Riders reminds us that Black men and women have been serving with honor and courage in the military for centuries, even when their contributions were overlooked or forgotten. These heroes deserve to be remembered, and it's up to us to make sure their legacy lives on. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the forgotten history of Black soldiers, make sure you like, share, and subscribe for more stories about the brave men and women who fought and defend freedom for both home and abroad. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Let us know in the comments what other topics you'd like for us to cover. And thank you for your service.